Hey, what's up? What's up, fools? Welcome to episode 57. Welcome, welcome, welcome. First thing I will say, okay, never mind. Got a new chair. It's definitely not as squeaky. There's a little squeak to it, but it's not as squeaky as the other one. Okay, so that's one good thing. Not as comfortable, I will say that, but it's not as squeaky, so that's good. Um, so with the typical everyday openings, Patreon. Become a patron today for as little as $3 a month or as much as $20 a month. That is patreon.com/the Plait Show. Boom. That's simple. That's simple. Also, TShirts. Hit me up. Hit me up. Recently realized there's a lot of people who have told me they want t-shirts that I have not got them to them. So I feel bad. But if you're watching this and you're one of those people, I'm going to do my dangdest to get them out to you this week, maybe next week. I don't know. We'll see. We got some cool stuff to talk about. Unfortunately, I feel like this might be a shorter episode, and I just want to, if it is, I just want to come out and tell you I'm sorry. If it's not, then at the end of the episode, I'll look like an idiot, but whatever. But man, we had a cool week, man. So first off, drop down in the comments if you're watching. Let me know how your week was, how your week is going to be. You got anything planned, anything, blah, blah, blah. Typical stuff for me, work. That's why I come on here and I say that week in and week out. But this time, by the next episode, I will be employed by a different place. I'll leave it at that. But I'm kind of excited for it. I'm also kind of nervous. It's really like my first, or I guess second real job. But I've been at this one since I was in high school. So that's all I really know. And I'm pretty sure what I'm going to is going to be a lot more work. But, I'm ready for it. It's time to be a big boy. That's the way I'm looking at it. So on Friday, we had the new Kendrick Lamar album drop. Or maybe it was Thursday or Friday. The new Kendrick. So I talked about it last week, how the song got leaked. It wasn't the album. I said the album, but it was just a song. The Heart Part 5 was leaked. Not the song itself, but just the title was leaked. But then, Friday, the whole album, what was that called? Hold on, I'm going to find it. Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. I've listened to it like 2 or 3 times so far, and I got to say, the first time I listened to it, I was like, okay, Kendrick, this isn't that great. Second time, chef's kiss was beautiful. I'm on like the third time through. It's a good album, man. It's a good one. It's not, if you're somebody that likes that kind of music that's like super super hype up in your face and stuff like that, it's probably not for you. But if you're somebody that, I feel like most Kendrick fans are really gonna love it, and even if you're not, just give it a few listens from front to back, or just a few songs. Listen to them a few times. I think you'll change your mind on it after the first try. Some good songs, man, for sure. Yeah, so hopefully, Kodak Black is on the album a few times. I think he's only in one song, but you hear him on the album a few times. So that's pretty cool for Kodak, man. He's one of my favorite younger rappers. So if he's going to be put on by one of the GOATs, hey, shout out to him, you know what I mean? It is a little dark in here tonight. It's late. It's 11:30 on a Saturday night when I'm recording this, so I apologize if you're watching and it looks dark or something. My bad. But I feel the need to fill you guys in on this because you guys have kind of been kept up to date thus far. So why not just keep it coming? Um, so I've been looking for a car. I've been carless for about 2 months now. Maybe not that long. Almost like a month and a half. It's been a while. Too long. Well, I've been looking and looking and looking, trying to find something that's worth my money. So I finally got it down. It was either going to be this Honda Civic that's a 2014 or this 2022 Toyota Corolla. Now, you're probably thinking, oh, no-brainer answer is the brand new car. Fair. I wouldn't say you're wrong, but obviously the used car is going to be cheaper. It really wasn't a lot cheaper. I think it was like $7,000 cheaper, which, that's a lot of money, but in terms of an 8-year-old car compared to a brand new car, that's it's almost $1,000 a year in like increasing value. But no. So today, we went to the car dealership and we checked this car out. Thankfully, it was still there. That's one thing that I've ran into a lot of troubles with, is if there's a nice car, it's typically not around for that long. It's really not. Like, you think that it's something that would be hanging around for a minute. It's not. If it's a nice car, man, somebody's gonna see it and somebody's gonna buy it, like within the day, which is crazy to me. I mean, I guess people are always trying to get a car. It really doesn't matter who you are or where you're from or whatever, but like, I need a car. Like, there's people trading their stuff in and stuff like that. Like, they got something to drive. Like me, carless for this long. And I'm like, man, someone just cut me a break, man. Like, I need to get some wheels. But we went and checked out this 2014 Civic. I think it's the LX or the EX or something like that. It's the fancy version. EX, yeah, it's not the super fancy, but it's fancy-ish. I'll say that. It's got push to start. It's got a nice display, Bluetooth. I sound like a what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. Like, it seemed like a stupid little punk for for that being like one of the main things I wanted from a car. But the thing is especially where I live, it's like there's no good radio stations, for one. For two, Sirius XM, great radio stations, but I think it's pretty expensive. Bluetooth, I already pay for Spotify. If I can just hook my phone up, and even if it didn't have Bluetooth, like, I at least would want an aux jack or whatever. Not only does it have an aux jack, it has Bluetooth. It has an HDMI port. So in case you want to hook your Xbox up in the fucking car, you can do that. But no, it's super nice. We actually test drove it today. And, it's riding good. It's comfy, everything. And hit like 50 miles an hour. And it start hearing, sounds like something's dragging these nuts. No, I'm sorry. You start hearing dragging. And, we pull over. We look under the car. Sure enough, there's a skid plate on the bottom that fell down and was scraping on the ground the whole time. So we get back to the dealership, and the guy comes out and he's like, "What'd you think?" And we're like, It's awesome, yeah. And he's like, "Oh, fuck yeah, we got him." I'm like, but you gotta fix it, man. Like, it's broke. Like, the skid plate's not something that's gonna keep it from functioning, but if I'm gonna spend the money on it, like, I would prefer that was not an issue. You know what I mean? But as soon as the guy seen it, he was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry." Went and got it fixed. And not to, be like sharing my business and everything. Like, it's not like a TMI kind of thing, but I wanted to walk out with it today. I wanted to have some wheels of my own today. Well, my bank that I was going to get approved through, they actually closed at noon. Man, what the hell is up with banks? Banks are like one of the most essential like companies, businesses in the entire world. Not just here and there. Like they're the most like one of the most important places ever. And like through the week, like most banks will be like, 8 to 4, 8 to 5. Like that's fine. That's a fine time. But if you're going to be open on Saturday, why are you closing at noon? You can't get, I mean, dude, you got to wake up first thing and get to the bank. And everybody else is there too. I call, it's 11:30 Saturday morning. I call the bank and I'm like, "Hey, need some help." And they're like, and no, like this dude was like rude, man. Like I was like, "Really, dude?" Like I understand you close in 30 minutes, which I didn't know at the time. But like I get it. But you don't gotta be such a dick about it. Like you can just be like, "Hey, man." So I call and I'm like, "Hey, I'm looking to take out this. I've already been approved. I'm just trying to go through with it or whatever." And he's like, "Not today, bud. Not gonna happen." And I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, we close in 30 minutes. It's not gonna happen today." I was just like, boop. Didn't even let him finish. I just hung up on him. And like like if I worked at a bank and it was 30 minutes till close and someone called asking for that, I'd be like, "Hey man, we do close in 30 minutes. That's gonna take, like we're just not gonna be able to do it. Be professional, but be sincere and be genuine about it. I think I already said, I don't know, whatever. Just be real, but you don't have to be an asshole while you're being real." But like I said, he said that, I was like, "Okay, dude." So the car lot, they're like, "Oh yeah, we can get you." So the interest rate that I was given from the bank was pretty good, pretty good. I'll just leave it at that. But what the car lot gave me was astronomically terrible. I'd be paying about $400 a month for that car. I'm like, "No, I'm good. I'm good on that." So I'm not getting it till Monday. So on Monday, look out for some photos of it on Twitter and Snapchat and Instagram and everything. They'll be out. They'll be out. I'm definitely ready to flaunt that sucker. Because, I mean, really, if it was just a shitty car that was reliable. I mean, that was my biggest thing, was I could have went and found some beater for a couple grand. No problem, probably. But I've been since I've had my license, I've never drove anything that was like a nice car that was reliable. And there's no saying that this Civic's gonna be like the most reliable car of all time. But the good thing is Honda is known for their reliability and stuff like that. So it has 74,000 miles, which really isn't bad, especially for a Honda. Now if it was like 120,000 miles, then I'm like, I'm gonna pass. But that's the thing. For $15,000, it was not out of the ordinary to see a 10-year-old Civic or Accord for for 15 grand with 140, 160,000 miles. And that, I think that's just a testament to the quality and reliability of the cars. But I feel like you've got it to the 2/3 of its death, and then you want me to pay the full price for that. So no thanks, I'll pass on that. But like I said, we got lucky with this one. They'd only had it for a few days. It's awesome. So like I said, Monday is when I will be getting it. I'm still gonna do it through my bank. But yeah, so I definitely wanted to fill you guys in on that because I'm really, really excited for that. Man, but other than that, this week has not. I haven't had a lot to do. Like I said, obviously work, but you hear that every week. But one thing, since football's not really on, the USFL's on. I talk about it every week. I just don't find it that entertaining. It's like preseason football. Like it's cool to say that it's on, but really, are you gonna watch it that much? Probably not. And there's some people that watch it a lot. It's just kind of on at weird times too. It's like, man, I can't really, with the NFL, it's got the set times. Turn the TV on anytime it's Sunday, boom, it's on. USFL, there's only like 5 games a week or something like that, and they're kind of spread out. Anyway, but I've been wanting to get into some sport, man. And I'm not gonna say I'm into any sport, like at least not to the level that I'm into football. Um, but playoff hockey is on, and I've been watching some of that, man. And for most sports teams, since I'm a Steelers fan, I just kind of default every other um, professional sport to Pittsburgh. Obviously not basketball, um, but hockey with the Penguins, the Pirates. Although they're not very good at all, but still. Also, drinking a Crooked Marker tonight. It's not great. I'll tell you that it's not. But hey, who cares? Um, but yeah, man, I've gotten into it a little bit, and I've tried getting into hockey before, and it was always something really hard for me to really understand. Really any sport that you've never watched and you try to get into, it's hard to pick up on right away because you just have no knowledge about it. You know nothing about it. But yeah, I kind of got into it. I've kind of been getting into it. It's actually pretty cool. It's pretty cool, man. Like I still couldn't tell you who players are and where they're from or what the rules of the sport are or anything like that. But getting it a little bit more, and it's entertaining, dude. It really is. And there's other games, like I really haven't watched anything but Penguins games, but it's awesome. It's fun to watch. Like if you haven't watched hockey, tune in. Tune in. I want to say that the Pens maybe played tonight. Maybe they don't play till tomorrow or something. I'm not sure. Okay, yeah, it's not today. It's tomorrow? Make sure. Yeah, it's tomorrow. So that's game 7. Yeah, game 7. Series tied 3-3. 7 o'clock on your local. I don't know what channel it's on. Sorry. I don't know. It's probably on like ESPN or TNT or TBS or something. I didn't know hockey was on those channels too. I was looking for the Penguins game the other night. I was like, man, it's not on ESPN. It's not on, 10 or 4 or CBS, NBC, ABC. It's not on any of those. It's like, what the hell is it on? Sure enough, I look it up. It's like, oh, it's on TNT, idiot. I'm like, oh, I thought it was just basketball. My bad. But no, it's a lot of fun to watch. Like I said, if you haven't watched it, tune in. Tune in. It's awesome. And basketball's been going on too. I've watched a little bit, but basketball is one that's hard for me to get into. Like I like college basketball. College basketball is fun to watch. But professional, it's just not really my cup of tea. Not anymore. Like when I was younger, it was more fun to watch. When you had, I don't even think the players really have so much to do with it. Maybe it's the rules of the game have changed or the pacing of games have changed or something. I don't know. But I remember like back when you had Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen. When that was the Celtics team, like I used to watch those like religiously. Those were fun games to watch, dude. Or like a young LeBron playing in Miami. Even like a super young LeBron in Cleveland. Even a slightly older LeBron coming back to Cleveland, I thought was pretty fun. Watching those whole back to back and forth Warriors Cavaliers series back in the day. Those were a lot of fun to watch too. But it's just hard for me to get into. And baseball, don't even try to talk to me about baseball because I couldn't tell you a thing. Baseball is the most complex, I think. We've all played baseball to some extent, whether it's little league or just in your backyard or something. We all have a little bit of experience, but just the game itself, they're long. They're so long. and there's always like different players coming in and stuff. It's just not. It's not that cool for me, man. But like I said, if you haven't checked out hockey yet, it's been around for fucking like 100 years or something. But no, if you haven't like watched it and you think you wouldn't like it or something like that, like I do recommend that you at least try it out, especially if you're a fan of football. I mean, it is physical. It's not as physical as football. The goal of the game isn't to tackle people, but sometimes people just get rocked. People get in fights. People get punched, and everybody's like, "Yeah, I had it coming." Nobody gets in trouble for it. It's like, yeah, all right, come on, keep it moving. Um, yeah, the rest of my week, man. This after after I filmed last week's episode, my bed. So I hadn't slept in my bed in probably over a month. I just had it covered in clothes and different other shit. Finally got it cleaned off, and I've been sleeping in it all week. And I gotta say, man, it's a lot better than a couch. I'll tell you that. Couch ain't bad. I won't hate on the couch that much, because it is comfy. But is it as comfy as a bed? Nah, not even close. Not even close. If you're somebody that like only sleeps on a couch because you don't have a bed, man, I feel bad for you, man. I didn't know what I had until I realized what I had. I guess I don't know, but once I got back in there, oh, perfect. Sleep like a baby. Sleep a little too good. You know what I mean? With the couch, if I'd wake up, like my alarm ain't supposed to go off till like 8. If I wake up at if I wake up at like 7 for some reason, it's no like, oh, I'll try to go back to bed. No, it's like, okay, I'm up. In the bed, wake up at 7, supposed to be up at 8. I'm like, nope. We're gonna go to the wire. And then sometimes it's after 8, It just happens like that. Um but then Thursday night I get off work, and my friend's like, "Hey, we're going over to Carl's." And I don't know if you guys saw, but Natural Light has a new beer out, a new Natter Day. It's red, white, and blueberry lemonade. And that was the first time I seen them at my work. And I thought, oh, I'm gonna get those. I'll probably go over there, drink a couple, whatever, have a fun time with some of the guys. So it's a 12 pack, and I get there, and I didn't drive. My Tyreek, he came and picked me up, and we get there, and I start drinking them. And my thing is I have a beer here, but I'm probably not gonna finish it. Probably, however far down it is by the time I'm done recording this, that'll probably be as low as it gets. Who knows? I might finish it, but typically I cannot drink by myself. But when I'm around friends and having a good time, it's nothing for me to drink. It's perfect. I don't know if you guys can hear stuff going on upstairs, but people are walking around and stuff. Mind you, it's almost midnight. I don't know, man. People just wait for me to start doing this and then start jogging upstairs or something. But yeah, it was a 12 pack, and before I knew it, they were gone. They were all gone. I was like, oh shit. But the thing, I didn't even feel that. I didn't feel that bad, And maybe it was just because it was dark and I didn't have to move or anything. I don't know the explanation as to why, but I didn't feel that bad. But I get home at like 3 o'clock, 3 a.m., and I come downstairs and I watch TV for like a half hour, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to bed. Mind you, when I get home, I grab a piece of pizza out of the fridge and I eat that right before I crawl into bed. So, just finished a piece of pizza, hop in bed. Don't let my stomach really come to a rest or nothing. So, like I said, I probably fell asleep like 3:30, 3:45-ish, somewhere around that. I wake up at like 6:35, 6:40, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to barf. Sure enough, ran outside, barfed it all up, went upstairs, brushed my teeth, came back downstairs, slept for another hour or two. It was all fun. And then I was nursing a hangover all Friday. That's why I am not a huge drinker. The fact that if you drink when you wake up, you're just gonna feel like shit. And it's not just like a, get over it in a little bit. Nah, man. Like it's taken a while. Like I drank like 3 Gatorades and I was still feeling it. And not just regular Gatorades, like the new ones that are like Pedialyte. Drank like 3 of those. Still, I was like, oh man, not feeling so hot. Not feeling so hot. But I eventually got over it. It's fun. But that whole day Friday, people coming in getting beer and stuff. I'm like, you're disgusting. How can you drink this shit? But that's the thing, man. There's so many people that can go and get absolutely hammered on a Monday night. And then Tuesday night, they're ready to do it again. It's like, dude, I cannot. Like I said, if someone tried to give me a beer on Friday, no chance I would have even got that close to my mouth. I got people coming in like, oh, you getting crazy tonight, Friday night? I'm like, hell no. Like, I'm going to go home and go to sleep. Hope I don't barf at 6 a.m. Like, no thanks. I'll pass on that. But with this new job coming up, I'm going to be having a new schedule. So typically, I've been getting off work. So the past, 3.5 years, I've been getting off work at about 8 o'clock p.m. every night and going in at about noon every day. So 5 days a week, 12 to 8. That's awful, okay? So, we can all just come to the conclusion, the agreement of that. Sorry if you heard the squeak. That's not a great schedule by any means. But with the new job, I'll be getting off at 2 o'clock every day. So with that extra time I'll have throughout the day for myself, I've started thinking, what am I going to do? Well, here recently I've seen photos of myself. And for the longest time looking at myself, I was always, and I still wouldn't say that I'm ashamed or, well, I'm probably a little ashamed. I'm not embarrassed, maybe a little bit, but like I don't hate myself. I don't hate my body. Although I'm fat, I don't hate it, because I'm not one of them people that can't get around and I can't breathe. I can't walk without having to take a break or something. I'm not that big. I'm not at that point. But, if I keep up my ways, I'm probably heading there for sure. So I've thought if I get off at 2 o'clock every day, I'll get a gym membership and I can start going to the gym on right after work. And then be home by 3:30, maybe 4 o'clock some days. Hop in the shower, hang out for a little bit and get ready to go to bed and go do it again the next day. Although that is still, spending a whole day not relaxing, but I don't really need to relax because the productivity is the thing that I'm lacking. Working 12 to 8, I'll wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning and I'm like, oh, okay, so I spend the first 9, 10, 3.5 hours of my day just sitting there, trying to chill out as much as I can before I have to go work the rest of my day away. Well, I'll be waking up at 5 a.m., maybe earlier, but I get off work 8 hours earlier, right? No, 6 hours earlier, sorry. 6 hours earlier than I would regularly. And getting off at 2, it's okay, you can still do anything you want at 2. Get off at 2, I'll be like, oh man, I got to run to Columbus and do something. I could run to Columbus and be back by 5 or 6 at the earliest, and then, bam. That's just if I have to, or if I want to even. I get off at 8 o'clock, and I need to go to Zanesville or Columbus or something like that. There's no time. I mean, I could do it, but there's not whatever I need to do there is still going to be available. You get off at 8 o'clock, most stores and restaurants and stuff like that, they're closing at 9, 10 o'clock. So you got to get there right after work. And then people are pissed at you because they're like, bro, we close in a fucking hour. What are you doing in here? In 30 minutes, in 45 minutes. Why are you calling about a loan, dude? We close in 30 minutes. But yeah. So there's a lot of new potential alleys of different entertainment, just lines of productivity, because like I said, I need to get in the gym. I need to get some weight off. I'd really like to lose like 100 pounds straight up. Like, I don't think I'm super big, but man, if I lost 100 pounds, I'd be in great, great shape. And even, that's not my goal. I know I've lost weight before. I've went through the rigorous agenda of it and cycle of it and stuff. It's not really rigorous. It just takes some getting used to. And once you get used to it, that's normal. But I just got to get back into that habit, really. And I don't get no ladies. I'd be lying if I said that had nothing to do with it. It's not all. I do care about my health and stuff like that, and I feel like that's something I've been neglecting for a while. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. The inability to pull women, and not even, that seems like a bad way to say it, but you know what I mean, like to find a mate, to find a soulmate, that is, soulmate. It's really non-existent. You know what I mean? What's the non-GMO, vegan, gluten-free? This shit's good for you, man. It's kosher. It's like I said, it's not good. It's not good. I'd only recommend drinking this if you're trying to lose weight. So maybe this, if I want to drink alcohol, this will be my go-to in a week or so when I'm back in the gym working out and stuff. But that's something I don't use much of, and I don't plan on kicking it up. So I think I'm good. Knock on wood. Bars. And yeah, I hope I'm planning on every week. So next week's episode, I wouldn't have really started by then, but the week after, so episode 59. Man, we're at episode 59. That's crazy. But by episode 59, I should be telling you guys about how my workout went throughout the week and stuff. Like, I'm sore or I feel good or whatever. What have you. But yeah, I feel like this is my summer to get in shape. And then hopefully I carry it on to the rest of, for however long I need it to. But I used to work it, like in high school and stuff. I used to work out and stuff, and I used to hate it back then because I was like being forced to, pretty much. But now looking back, it's like, man, that actually was fun. Like, fun, I don't know if I'd say fun, but it was like, it felt good. Like, you'd get done with a really good workout, you just hit a max on your bench. Like, you feel great. That's another thing that I know it's gonna happen, and I'm sad that it's gonna happen. Back in high school, I was benching like 400 pounds almost. That's no joke. Like, I'm not trying to hype myself up. Like, that is serious. Ask anybody that played football with me. I was a heavy lifter. And since I've been out of the gym, out of weightlifting for this long, like, I know it's going to be so bad. It's like I have to completely restart. But it'll be cool, it'll give me something to strive for. So I'm looking forward to that. I think starting out, I won't go straight into like straight muscle stuff. Get the cardio down, get kind of in condition, get conditioned a little bit, because that is one thing that I'm definitely lacking in. I can still go out and go for a walk or run a little bit and be all right, but I mean, if you ask me to run a mile right now, I don't think I could do it. Or if I did, it would be very slow. It'd be like a 13, 14 minuter, man. And that's like a walking pace. Like, cause I start hot, but man. But yeah, if by that time in 2 weeks, by episode 59, I'm not telling you guys about that, hold me accountable. Be like, hey, leave a comment, text me, do something. Be like, hey, why haven't you, have you not been in the gym? Because that is something that I really would like to do, for sure. And, while we're here at this moment in time, I should mention that it's a great time, if you're an audio listener, it's a great time for you to switch over and watch the video version. And if you're watching right now, it's a great time for you to drop a like, a comment, hit that subscribe button, turn the notifications on. It's a great time for that. It's a great time for it. So just go ahead and do it. It'd make your life a whole lot easier and a whole lot more fun. And while you're doing it, just pause the podcast and go hop on Patreon and become a patron. That would be pretty fun too. Trust me, it would be. Also, this is something I haven't mentioned, I don't think. But for the haircut video, I have the video of me getting my hair cut off. If you want that, you have to subscribe to the Patreon. It's not on there right now because no one has subscribed to the Patreon. But once people start to subscribe to the Patreon, that's when I will put it out there. You know what I mean? But did my audio? No, okay, sorry. I thought my audio just crashed. But once you guys start getting on there, that's when I'm gonna start posting on there. I'm not just gonna empty post on there to nobody. Maybe I should. Maybe that'll give you guys a reason to want to come subscribe to it or whatever. But for my weekly thing to talk about, man, obviously I've been thinking about it since I've been looking for a new car, and it's just sketchy shit in a car, man. We've all been in some crazy shit in a car, I think. Whether you get rear-ended, if I go all the way back, I don't really remember anything as a kid. Thank God. Like, my parents never, when I was young, knock on wood, I hope they never do, but when I was a kid, that was something that I never had to worry about. My parents never got into a fender bender, an accident, nothing like that. Not while I was in the car. And really, I can't think of them ever, even if I wasn't in the car. But once I got in the car, and that's when you need to watch out. Obviously there was like probably some moments where they get slammed on the brakes and they grab your chest, throw you back, so you don't get hurt. Classic parent move there. But no, I got my license a month after my 16th birthday. I didn't get a car until like 3 or 4 months before my 17th birthday. So I had my license for over half a year and didn't have anything to drive. You know what I mean? I don't know why I keep saying you know what I mean. But yeah, I had my license for over half a year and didn't have a car. So that summer, my 16 summer, I spent the whole summer working, saving money, finally got a car, and it was nice. It was nice for me. It was a 05 Chevy Malibu. It was a nice car. It was. And I remember very vividly, it was during football season. It was week 9 or 10, I believe, of the football season. Or it was right after week 9. It was the Sunday leading up to week 10. So my friends and I, there was a local ice cream place that was about to close for the season. And they had a lot of food and ice cream that they had to get rid of. And me and all my friends were going to meet up there. And we were going to, snatch some stuff off of them and do our things. Well, I'm on my way there. And I get stuck behind this truck that's no lie going 10 miles an hour. And I'm like, what the heck? I'm like, I'm going to be late. I'm going to be late. So I hurry up and pass them. Whatever, no problem. Well, I get down to this point where it's like it's a pretty steep hill, and then it turns at the bottom. Well, I was going much faster than I should have, but I was still young to the car stuff. I wish that wasn't the way I had to learn, but it was. But I come around that turn, and my car does not take the turn like it should have. It slides completely off the road, and instead of it just being like a little ditch or something, it's like a 6 foot embankment, like straight down. And get in the car, and I'm like, oh, fuck. I'm like, oh, maybe it's not that bad. I get out and I look at like the driver's side, and it really isn't that bad. So I'm like, okay. And I go ahead and look at the other side. Oh, it's fucked. It's bad. So I call my mom. I go, Mom, I just wrecked my car. She's like, oh my gosh. Like parents do when their babies get hurt. But that was terrifying, dude. And then I lost my license for a month. So then I had to be getting picked up and dropped off and everything. Kind of like how I am today. But then my parents got me a car for Christmas. They only paid like $600 for it. And I paid them back for it. But that was awesome. That was an awesome Christmas present to get. Because, it was terrible. That was very traumatic. For instance, shortly after, it was probably a month or two after that accident, my dad and I, we go to this arcade, and they have one of those, the racing games where you get in the seat and you're like in your it's like you're in a car, whatever. It was like a NASCAR one or something. And I hit a turn or something, or I wreck in the game, and the whole game shakes. Like, it's not like simulating, but it's like it shakes. And it took me, like, it was like boom, war flashbacks. It freaked me out. I quit. I got out of it. I was like, listen, I don't care. I'll get last place. I'm not doing that. That fucked me up. Well, after I get that second car, that second car was great to me. I loved that second car. Driving it. I drove it for a good two years, I want to say. Yeah, I think it was 2 years. And it was right after Christmas break, freshman year of college. And I just returned some books to the school. And I was on my way home. I remember it was a Thursday. I got my paycheck on a Thursday. So I was like, okay. And there was a way that, you take the interstate and then you get off at this one exit and you can kind of take the back road and it'll spit you out right at where I worked. So I was like, okay. On my way back, I'm just going to do that. Well, as soon as I get off the interstate, here, boo, car's like shaking, it's jerking around, everything. I'm like, oh no, what is this? Well, I knew that my oil was, I was a little late on my oil change. So I was like, oh, maybe it's just out of oil. So I'm stuck there, and a cop pulls up, and he's like, hey, what's going on? I'm like, oh, my car broke down. I was like, you think you could take me to go get some oil? He's like, yeah, sure. So he takes me to get some oil, and I fill it up, and I start it back up, and sure enough, obviously, it didn't fix anything. So that was a real bummer. That one sucked. And so it was shot. I think I like busted a hole in the engine or something that's not fixable. That really you'd look back and you're like, man, why were you such a fucking idiot? And that was really the only explanation, is just being stupid. If I'd have just paid attention and serviced the car when it needed to be, I could still be driving it today. Who knows? But that one was very frustrating. Just because I was stupid. Well, like just a couple weeks later, mind you, this is, we're not at the point where finding cars is like trying to find a needle in a haystack. And I still wasn't at the point where I was, comfortable or secure enough to be affording a car payment. So I found another beater, paid $1,000 for it, and that was the old Cavalier. Rest in peace. And I drove her for 2 or 3 years. And she was always real good. Always real good to me. had a couple, go to get in your car to go somewhere, and you click, 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 don't start. Because one thing that was weird about the Cavalier that was unlike both of the cars before is if it was like early in the morning or late at night when the lights would need to come on, those cars had automatic headlights. The Cavalier, in fact, did not have automatic lights. So when I'd be going to school, it would still be kind of dark out. So I'd have to turn them on manually. And since I just wasn't used to it, I would never remember to turn them off. I can't tell. It was probably a good 5 or 6 times where I had to get jumped in the parking lot of the college because I forgot to turn my fucking headlights off. Eventually, I got it down, but again, that's another thing. Why did I have to learn the hard way? I just got a fucking thick skull. But yeah, and then the last real sketchy moment is when I'm on the way to the bank and boom, get smacked going 60 miles an hour. That one was bad, man. That one was the most sad one too, because it was not my fault in any way. And I really like the old Cavi, she was definitely a beater. I don't think anybody would deny that. But she was a good car, man. Such a good car. And it was totaled right there. You could if you grabbed it today, you could still drive it if you really wanted to. But I mean, it's pretty fucked up. Let's be honest, like it's pretty fucked up. It's sad to say, but it is. But yeah, and I hope that's it for my again, I'll knock on some wood. I hope that's it for my sketchy experience in cars. I'm sure it won't be, I'm only 21 years old. But I think I'm fairly careful, I take calculated risks sometimes. But yeah, I hope and pray that nothing bad happens with the new car. I can't wait to show it to you guys because, like I said, she's a pretty thing, pretty young thing. Like I said, the push to start, that's cool, man. I remember when I was a kid, saw somebody had a car like that. I was like, man, that's like fairy tale shit. Like I'll never have that. By the time you see this up, you will see it. That's how I'll post it. I'll say, hey, check out the episode. By the way, here's my new car. You'll say, man, that's a nice car. Can I get a ride? And I'll say, you got gas money though? You got McDonald's money though? All right, I was a little wrong. This week's episode was a little shorter than usual, but not as short as I anticipated it being. I've noticed I'm getting good at stretching things out. Maybe it's not as entertaining to listen to, but I can talk about stuff for a little while now, just by myself. Get somebody else on here, I might be talking for 3 hours. Who knows? But with that being said, everybody, like I said, make sure to check out the Patreon in the description of the video if you're a listener. It's on all the social media platforms, or just go over to the video and find it on the video. If you're listening, YouTube is The Plait Show, just like how it is in the title. So check that out. Check it out. Check out the Patreon. Check out TShirts. And with that being said, guys, I love you. I hope you have a great week. And I will see you guys next week. Bars. I just rhymed week with week. See you guys. Peace.